The more COVID testing, the better, but there's one place not to call for a test.
An EMS company in the Midstate stresses how its services are for emergencies only, not COVID testing. Jeremiah Marshall joins us now live in the studio with more. Jeremiah.
Yeah, Alicia, Valerie, Cumberland Goodwill EMS have their hands full with emergency calls, but when it comes to folks asking to get COVID testing, that can cause major delays. Cumberland Goodwill EMS has received an overwhelming amount of calls about COVID testing. The team has 40 members on 4 different shifts, and Assistant Chief Nathan Herrick says dispatch would get calls about 5 times a week from people wanting to get tested for COVID.
We understand that testing and the resource availability is really strained in some places right now, but we're not the answer. 911 is used for emergencies, and if you dial us, we can't give you a test in the field. And if we're taking you to the emergency room, you could be waiting 12 to 24 hours, and there's no guarantee that a test is going to take place there.
Herrick says patients should be reaching out to their doctor, not 911.
But when we're talking about people who might just, have that mild cough or a sore throat or a migraine, that's not a situation that requires 911, and really they should be communicating with their own physician.
Herrick says ambulances are for emergencies, and when someone calls for COVID routine testing, that slows down those who need immediate care.
It's even more critical that you, as a member of the community, are using 911 for those emergency cases and not for a routine COVID test, because if we're already running down units, then it's harder for us to get to someone who is critically ill or injured.
First responders say you should call 911 if you're experiencing severe symptoms like difficulty breathing, fever, or intense chest pain.
If you are having a medical emergency, COVID or not, you're having those chest pains, the difficulty breathing, someone has a mental status change, dial 911. We can't stress enough, that's what we are here for, not the routine COVID tests.
And first responders recommend that if you are experiencing COVID symptoms, you should isolate yourself, wear your mask, and contact your doctor. Reporting in studio, Jeremiah Marshall, ABC 27 News.